2, 3. We're testing the focus. For some reason, I don't think the focus. Okay, wait for a second, Mom. This is March 20th, 2006. We're in Plainfield, and Mom and Dad are going to give me a tour of all the pictures and heirlooms and whatnot.
Just some things that are meaningful to us that you won't know about if we don't tell you.
So I want to hear all about it. So what do you got there, Mom?
This was made for me by my grandmother, my granny, my father's mother, when I was 3 years old. That means it's 70 years old.
Uh-huh.
And you can see these are triangles, but here it doesn't, she couldn't see too well by the time she was doing this, so there are mistakes all over. But it's all handmade. And someday, what I plan is for this sleigh bed, when we have a room, a bedroom in which we can put this 3/4 bed, that this will fit perfectly. And then we have a banjo clock upstairs, there's June's, and so this will go in that room with all the early American antiques.
Cool. So what do you got there, Mom?
This is a tablecloth my mother bought in Hong Kong when she lived in Japan, and it's a little square. They're squares. And this was on the table when we got married. This was on the This was the tablecloth on the reception table. And it was on Becca's when Becca got married. It was on the reception table when she got married.
Cool.
And I just want you to know that so that you won't give it away until you've thought
Good. Would
about
do me a favor? Would you hold up the pattern again for the light so I can see that? Yeah, hold that up against that light, Mom. Look at my fingers. Would you point that up to that light?
The blue? Would the blue do it? I think
Well,
this is
that's
upside
nice.
down.
Yeah.
This is upside down. They're different patterns.
Let me see. Here's one down here. This is cool. That's good. I want to see that. There we go. Well, that's neat. That's beautiful. Thank you, Mom. Tremendous. All right, now let's go over here. I'm going to zoom right in. And what do we got there? Is that Gilbert the First?
That's right. Gilbert the First. And here is Gilbert the Second holding his sister.
Yeah.
The day she came.
And there is Donna, the mother, holding them both.
Gotcha. All right, let's swing on over here now. Let's see.
This was given to your daddy as a present at Rutgers for your 30th year there.
Something like that.
That clock there. All right, what do we have there? That's a neat family picture. Who are we looking
I won't point
at?
them all out, but this is my grandfather Edward, your great grandfather
Isn't
Edward.
he gorgeous? Look at him. He looks like your daddy.
And name all the people in the picture
Well,
if you
I
can.
forget whether this is George Tolley Wilshire, the patriarch. The matriarch, Susan Eads, descended from Benjamin Eads, who hosted the Boston Tea Party in his house before they dressed up as Indians.
No, wait, explain that. Wait a minute. You're pointing to that woman in the lower middle. Explain. What do you mean?
Just a moment now. What's your question again?
You
Patriarch.
jumped.
This is the patriarch, George Tolley Wilshire.
And his wife, Susan Eads, was dead by then, but the mother of these children was Susan Eads.
She was okay.
The mother, the matriarch, or Susan Eads, died at about the age of 27.
All right.
She's not in the picture, obviously. This is the oldest daughter, but that's not the mother. Susan Eads was descended from Benjamin Eads, who was the host the night before for the Patriots who dressed up as Indians and tossed the tea to British.
Now I understand. Okay, so I thought so there's nobody on that picture. It's Susan.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Now who are the other people on this picture?
Well, I'll just mention one more. This was Joe, Uncle Joe, we called him. He fathered about 14 or 15 children who were the great denizens of Oak Glen. And my father's first cousins.
Was Blackie Wilshire his son?
Yes. Blackie was one of his children.
Can you name anybody else in that picture?
Not off the bat, not reliably. I used to know the oldest daughter's name, but I've forgotten it.
Gotcha. All right, so let's move on over here. Now what I think I see is a caricature of Sherman Withington. And right here I see a picture of Sherman. Is that his wife?
Right here.
Yeah.
On their 50th wedding anniversary. That's
The names?
Sherman Withington
Uh-huh.
and then Anna Tunison Withington.
Tunison Withington.
You got the Tunison toe from her side.
Gotcha. Fascinating. And who do we have up there?
This is my Aunt Arda.
Or that, keep your finger up there, point.
June.
Aunt Arda.
Aunt Arda, June, and Grandma June's sister.
Older
That's
sister.
right.
Got it.
And this is Mary Bittenbender,
Mary Bittenbender.
Gilbert the First's mother. This is just from the estate, Gussie's estate, and there is a photograph of Gussie down below.
And who's
You can
Gussie?
take. Gussie was a second cousin of my mother,
Gotcha.
and she had no descendants, so mother inherited all of her.
All of our antiques
Antiques.
came from her. This bow front,
Gotcha.
a chest, for instance, is one of her antiques.
Oh, from Gussie.
From Gussie.
From Western Pennsylvania, the Clarion area, or
Now that's Bittenbenders.
different? Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get those straightened out
This chair
someday.
is one of the
And this chair is another part of the same estate.
No, in this case, this is Sherman and Anna Withington's from their house in Adrian, Michigan.
Ah, so that's why they're proximally situated.
maybe.
That's
Got you
right.
here in this room. Okay,
right.
now let's come on over here, and we have this oval painting. Would you describe the people in this oval painting, please?
Yes, this is Philip Bittenbender.
Warren Bittenbender.
Say that again, Mom.
Philip Warren Bittenbender.
Okay.
That's right. Your grandfather's grandparents. In other words, Gilbert the First, his grandparents.
Their
Those are my
children
great
included-
grandparents.
Yes, Mary Bittenbender was their daughter, and Mary Bittenbender married Gilbert Wilshire.
And her name is?
No, Mary
Oh, yeah.
Bittenbender had a son. Mary Bittenbender was married to this very handsome man here,
Okay, of that painting. Okay.
Edward Wilshire.
Edward Wilshire. And they had a child, Gilbert Bittenbender.
My Gilbert the
Because
First.
His wife's name was Mary Bittenbender because her parents were named Bittenbender.
Thank you. And her first name is?
Sarah Belinda Curl.
How do you spell curl?
Curll.
Interesting.
Black Irish.
Black Irish.
Bittenbender
Fascinating.
and Curl. Sarah Belinda Curl Bittenbender.
Thank you.
From
Excellent.
Clarion County, Pennsylvania.
Picture of Edward Wilshire.
That's this same
And
guy.
when his 30s or 40s, he only lived till he was 45 or something
Is
like
this the same
that.
guy?
The same
Yes.
guy.
Yes,
Same guy, right there.
Same guy.
That's
Got
right.
it.
that's right.
Thank you. Dad, I see a picture of you and Gilbert the First. When you were the
Right.
big football player guy.
Right.
And
Right.
when was that taken?
Oh, I don't know. I was maybe 16, 17, 18 years old, something like that.
Were you at UCLA or something then? Or
USC. I don't know just when this
I
was
think
taken.
you were 18 when that picture was taken.
I mean, you're a big strapping man there. You're a
You can
young
see
man
How
there.
proud he is of him. He's, he's
Yeah,
and
big
you can
hunk
see
there.
how tall he is. How tall was he?
Father was about 5'8" or something like that.
And 140 pounds, wet, sopping wet.
Yeah,
And you're about 190 there, Dan?
something like
189.
that. 190 and 6'4", something like that.
Thanks, Dan.
Susan Eads. That's Susan Eads.
This is
Here
Susan
is
Eads.
Susan Eads, and as you see, she's a young woman. She never lived past the age of 27. She died soon after Edward Wilshire was born, and he never knew his mother. And she is the descendant of Benjamin Eads, of the Tea Party fame.
Daughter
A
of?
little bit. No,
Well,
no.
descendant.
No, that was
descendant.
because she went to.
Tilt it up a little bit other way. Yeah. Talk to me, Mom.
She met her husband in St. Louis when she was a girl of about 15, and her parents died of. They were on their way from Boston to the, in covered wagons.
Going west.
Going west, and the parents died in St. Louis, and she and her little brother were left with, and Edward just took up with her. They just took up
George
together.
Tolley Wilshire.
George Tolley Wilshire took up
Took up with her and took her west.
went west together, and eventually they got married.
Well, that's a cool story. Thank you. Go ahead. Dad, I see what seems to be a abstract piece of Jackson Pollock there. What is that? Point to it and tell me about it.
This is one of Mother's last full-fledged, fully competent works of art.
June Withington Wilshire, your mother.
Yes, it dates from maybe her 98th year.
It's gorgeous.
And she calls it the Big Bang, or the creation of the universe. It's sort of, as you see, a Pollock-like action painting sort of thing. She splashed
It was her first abstract.
blobs of drops of pigment there.
I see fractal patterns and everything. We don't have time to go into it, but it's beautiful. All right.
Something, and she was doing her
And the
first
next are some of the illustrations Grandma June drew for you for your book, right, Mom?
Right, there are 20 of them, and they're framed around the house. You'll see them. That came from Egypt. That's not one of them. But
All right. What's that from Egypt? Is this a papyrus or what is that?
It's just a souvenir of Nut, the goddess Nut, who is the sky, the night sky bending over. You can see.
So it's like a reproduction of,
It's a
of
reproduction
an
of
antiquity.
something out of a-
And then this next picture here is again another thing of June. When did June draw those? In the mid 90s?
1993.
93.
She was 89 and 90 years old.
All right, Mom. Hey, Mom. I love this picture about you and Dad in Central Park.
Yes.
Tell me about
Well,
it.
we were married in August 1959. This was taken in April on Palm Sunday in Central Park, 1960. We just newlyweds.
So you're newlyweds.
Yes, and you can see the apple blossom trees growing. We rented bikes and we were riding, and we call this F. Scott Fitzgerald and his wife Zelda. You can see the
So this was spring of 1960.
Yes, Palm Sunday.
So I wasn't conceived yet. I was about 3 months short of conception here.
Right.
Gotcha.
So we were just having a wonderful time. From your mother got this? No, my mother. This was
Yeah, I think
my mother's painting.
Esther.
Yes, my mother.
China or something.
Quilt. It came from the estate. It's very
Whose
beautiful.
estate?
The estate, the thing that your father inherited through his mother, through Gussie. Augusta. Her name was Augusta. My grandmother.
So this is a Wilshire heirloom.
This is a Wilshire heirloom. It's well over 100 years old.
Wow.
From the Victorian period. It's very beautiful. You look at it and you see it's all different pieces of velvet and silk, and it's embroidered in marvelous little ways. See the spider web over there? All kinds of magical little symbols
that.
on there. Look at the fan and the little butterfly. And then this is an oriental symbol. It's very witchy. It's very witchy.
And where was this made?
Oh, this is very typical. These were made all over. You see them very frequently in quilt collections. See the fan in the corner? It's just
So it's made in the
they're
United
called
States.
Crazy quilts. Yes.
Well, they call them crazy
Women call
quilts.
them crazy quilts. And there you see the little flowers.
So it was made around between the 1800s
It was in
and
the late
1900s.
1800s. Late
1800s.
1800s.
Fascinating. I never would have known that.
Okay. This is something your father gave me, part of my collection.
The African
Yes, it's an Ashanti.
Statue.
It's called Ashanti.
Ashanti.
And she had, well, we need an hour for me to do all my goddesses.
Yeah.
See how beautiful. It's the Agamemnon face from Greece into Africa. It's the same thing, the almond eyes and that
Yeah.
remarkable stylized eyebrow. It's a moon and symbols of regeneration on the back. That are
Hold
very
it still.
similar
Hold that
to-
still. Hold that still. Fabulous.
Very similar to what's called Isis's knot in Egypt. Well, I could
Cool.
do all of that.
And it kind of has an Ankh profile too. Now, what's that picture you just picked up, Mom? Of who are those three men?
worthies.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
hold it
Okay,
like.
but I wanted to put it over here because this cabinet.
Yeah,
it
sure.
goes
Please
with
do.
this
Yeah,
cabinet.
it's got good lighting.
This cabinet was my. Let's take this out of the way, and let's get these Christmas cards out of the way. I put this year's Christmas cards here.
Alrighty.
We would not lose them.
All right, Mom. The picture that's in your hand. Would you show that to me first off, please, and hold it up into that light so I can see that real good. You hold it right there. Now you got to hold it down so it doesn't reflect. Keep going, angling it down a little bit. There you go. Beautiful. All right. Who were those three gentlemen,
This
please?
is my grandfather. When he was young, he was 6'7".
Really?
Robert Edward Lott.
L-O-T-T.
No, he was 6'5". It's R.E. who was 6'7".
All right. Well, would you angle it down a little? The picture. Yeah. All right. So R.E.
This is is my grandfather.
You have to angle
My
it, Mom.
father, he
Straight up and
had
down.
two
There you go.
wives. His first wife, he married in 1890, and this break front was in their home, and they had two sons. This is her, Fanny Palmer Lott, married, had a father, Robert Davis Palmer. Robert Davis Palmer was her father, and she married Robert Edward Lott. So there were two Roberts already, but she wanted to name her first son after, she wanted him to be Junior.
Okay.
So they named him Robert Edward Lott Jr., but she didn't want another Robert around, so they called him R.E., and they
R.E.
spelled it A-R-E-E. Robert Edward Jr. So then along came the second son, Uncle Palmer.
That's
And
Uncle
she wanted to
Palmer.
name him after her father, but her father was Robert Davis Palmer.
Right.
No, her father was, yes, Robert Davis Palmer. And so there was a fourth Robert. She wanted to name this son after her father, but that would have been a fourth Robert.
Right.
So she didn't want another Robert around,
Right.
so they named him R.D. Palmer
R.D..
Lott. So that's Uncle Palmer. His name was R.D. for Robert Davis, and they spelled it
A-R-D.
A-R-D-E-E on the birth certificate.
Hardy.
So
Unbelievable.
that's Uncle Palmer, his big brother R.E., and their father, Robert Edward R.E. Sr.
And give me some dates here, roughly. When was Palmer born? What are we talking
I
about?
have all the dates upstairs in
Okay.
in the family.
That picture we taken in the 1920s then?
No, this picture would
1930s?
have been taken around probably 1908 or 1909.
Okay, aughts, back in the
The
aughts.
boys,
First
their mother left them in 1898, and so she was gone. And
So that's why they're so dour looking. They're without a mommy there.
probably, yes, they never.
And a
none
what?
of them ever recovered.
Wow, that's
They
intense.
never recovered.
That's intense.
I'm writing my
story.
autobiography up there, and I tell all about it.
Cool. Now, how does that segue into this piece of furniture?
This piece of furniture was in the home of Robert and Fanny when they got married. This was something in their home, which she designed. She designed the house.
Uh-huh.
It was 3 stories. Well, I'm writing all about that. I don't need to tell
Okay.
you about the house. I'll tell you about the cabinet.
Okay.
You can see it has a mirror back here, the original mirror, which makes it somewhat valuable.
Okay.
The original mirror is in there.
Oh, I see.
And some of these things were in Fanny's home.
Really?
Oh yes, these were in the home. As when my mother was growing up, all of these things were in her house.
Hold it
This
under the
was-
light, would you please?
This was Fanny's. It says FPL, Fanny Palmer.
Would you hold it under the light here, Mom?
Lot.
That would be great. Thank you.
FPL, Fanny Palmer Lott. It's a 2-cup tea server.
Wow. So when do you think that's
Oh, this
dates
was from
from?
1892. This was probably a wedding
Wow.
present. And all of these little things in here were from.
Tell me about that crystal. What would that be
This.
called? A crystal? Would that be
This.
just a pitcher? Or
This
would
was
it
just a crystal pitcher. It's lead crystal with a
be lead crystal
pewter.
with pewter.
pewter. Right.
Fascinating. That's
Crystal springs didn't
great.
have things all that fancy. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we have all of these things that really quite beautiful originally, but it's broken. The lip is broken. And there was a marvelous, huge, punch bowl.
Uh-huh.
And Bee loaned it to her church group in Michigan, and they broke it. Anyway.
So this was like the fanciest stuff they had, probably.
This was the fanciest
This was the
stuff
center
anywhere
of
in
their
Crystal
piece.
Springs.
In Crystal Springs, Mississippi.
This is so adorable. Yeah.
Crystal Springs,
This
Mississippi.
is so adorable. It's a pickle jar. It's
Ah,
from
look at that.
1890. It's from 1890, like all these other things.
Uh-huh.
See these little
Oh,
tongs?
look at that. You hold it nice and still. Beautiful. Okay, and that's for take the
These little
pickles
tongs.
out.
This is for
Love it.
taking the pickles out.
And that would be pewter service or pewter,
Pewter and-
metal?
Crystal.
Gotcha.
Or maybe some of this was silver plate, but so
Fascinating.
this cabinet is full of little things like that. Now your father gave
And is this the
me-
original glass that was in it too? I mean, this
Yes,
is the whole.
the original.
Because I notice there's little imperfections, little waviness to it.
Hand blown. That's why.
Yeah, I mean
Hand blown. It's
that's.
worth something. Maybe $800 or something. I don't know what it's worth, but
Yeah.
I love it. It was in my mother's home the whole time she was growing up, but her
Mm.
mother was his second wife, so these things were really belonged to his first wife. And my grandmother came into his home that was
Yeah.
full of.
Did it
first
bother
wife,
her
and
having
she
that
ne-
around?
Oh, she never fit in. She never fit in. I'd like to show you this.
Okay.
Uncle Palmer gave me this. He bought this in Egypt.
Oh my goodness, with the Egyptian
It's a
stuff.
cigar. It's a cigar case, and this is a little mummy. Isn't that cute?
Yeah. And Palmer got that in Egypt. In his world travels.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now these were given to my mother. These are museum quality statues. There's a bride and a groom from Japan.
It's Japanese.
It's Japanese.
Uh-huh.
They are very fine. Something is broken in one of them. There's something in there.
Okay.
And these sticks, mother put sticks in, and so I just put sticks in, but they are
Those
very
are actually
lovely.
from Japan.
Oh, these are from Japan, and they are very high quality antiques.
Gotcha.
High quality ceramics.
Very interesting. Okay.
These other stuffs, mother bought these when she was in Japan, but little things like this also came from the old home. And
And you were pointing to that white.
this,
What would you call
This is
that?
a
Just a
soup
soup tureen. Okay, that's fine. You can leave it in there. That's fine.
these were Mother Pursue's oyster plates.
And you're gonna write about Mother Pursue.
I'm gonna write about Mother Pursue.
Good. So
These
that's
are
cool.
oyster plates, and oh, this is so cute. This is so darling. Look at this. It's a candy dish. It's pewter also, you can see. This is Cupid holding this little bud vase. You put candy here in a little, and of course it's broken. Most of these things are broken. Now there are a couple of things I want to show you in here.
Okay.
These are also, oh well, this, oh sometimes I'll tell you about them there. It's not worth putting on film.
All right.
These pictures
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that picture. That's
and this picture.
that's Big Mama and
Her brother.
Brother.
and Big Brother.
Yes, my mother,
I know that picture.
my sweet mother. Okay. Here she is, about, well, what would he be there? 18 months or 1 year? What is he, about a year old there? Then she would be 6. He was about
Okay.
almost 5 years younger than she
All
was.
right.
You can see how her hair was always either pulled back or cut like a bowl. It was black, thick black hair and straight
Right.
as a horse's tail, she said. But he had curls. He had curls. And not only was his hair curly, but you can see that they used a curling iron on it.
Gotcha.
Isn't that
Excellent.
cute?
Thank you. About the story behind this this.
Uncle Palmer was a fabulous athlete.
Really.
He did all kinds. He did everything. He did golf and tennis and basketball. This says Dixie Lott from the American Legion post something team, the champions 1920 and 21. Our esteem from the team. He was the captain of the team.
Of
The
what sport?
basketball.
Of basketball.
Basketball for the American Legion team, 1920 and 21. They won the national championship for American Legion basketball, and they went to Paris.
Huh.
They won a trip to Paris. So I guess the tour, the what would you call it? The World Championship game was in Paris, and he kept us all those years, and so I keep it too.
So that meant a lot to him. That was a hell of an accomplishment.
It was the highlight of his life to go to Paris as the champ,
I could see that. I could understand that.
and
So that's Palmer.
that was Palmer, yeah. Cuchimilco culture. You can see it's a boy and a girl.
You got those in Peru?
In Peru, yes.
Thank you. Lady, a small picture over here. Tell me who this is, please.
That is Mother's second cousin.
Mother, who mother?
My mother's second cousin. Her name, Gussie Clark. She's a descendant of my mother's great uncle George Withington, who came to California in gold rush days.
Uh-huh.
And her mother, or was it her aunt, rode horseback from St. Louis to Central California. She married an Eastern oil man of that era, and the antiques in this house were her possessions in a big house in Oriole Avenue in Providence, Rhode Island.
Huh. And they made it all the way across the country.
That branch of the family, Withington family, was completely wiped out. So Mother came into possession of these antiques, and she acquired a few from other members of her family that didn't care that much about antiques. And she assembled this this marvelous grouping of antiques, some of which are in this house, and some of which are in Leland's house, some of which are in Dan's house. But she was a remarkable woman. All three of her children died. And as I said, that branch of the family was completely wiped out, and Mother came into the possession of these antiques almost by default. Now this chair, for example, is...
There's the little label is right there.
Right,
Here it is.
right.
Whoops.
All right, I have probably about maybe a minute or two of
William and Mary chair, 1690.
Yeah, why don't you leave that right there so I can get that. And this is this is it.
This is it. It's just a strong, it's a lovely chair.
Wow, 1690.
Isn't it a nice chair?
Incredible. Fab. All right, looks like I got some juice in the battery here. All right, Dad, you got your hand on a large wooden, what would you call that, a sideboard?
This is a 19th century antique. It's called a credenza.
Okay.
And it's got a couple drawers up here, as you can see. Silverware is usually in here. The doors open out on shelves that contain plates and tablecloths and so forth. And it was a part of the estate.
Of Gussie's estate.
Gussie's estate that June inherited. And there's some of the Bavarian china that I think it was always in this piece of furniture.
Well,
Sure
that's not Bavarian china, but the other stuff is here.
Gotcha.
Can you show a plate?
Oh wow, look at that. Hold that still, Mom. That's beautiful. Thank you.
It's not a complete set, but it's...
So how old would you say this credenza is?
Oh, I imagine it's something like 1850.
Oh, 1850.
So it's maybe 150, 160 years old.
It looks like a heavy piece of furniture.
And these are kind of interesting because Bruce's grandmother, see them there? Well, I'll put one here. She crocheted these. She was very sick at the end of her life, and she would sit in bed and just crochet. She made them into a frame.
Who would
downstairs.
crochet them? Excuse me.
Anna Tunison, my grandmother, mother's mother.
Mother's mother would do
Sherman
this. So she made
Withington's wife.
these were made by her hand.
By her hand.
She
all
lay in bed.
handmade.
Yeah.
And so when did she make these?
In the 40s.
1940s when she was a...
1940s.
That's right.
Gotcha.
She was in her 80s probably, or late 70s. This old clock comes from your mother's side of the house. This was a part of the Robert Lot.
It was Robert Lott's
Right.
clock before he got married. It's 1881. It says November 1st, 1881.
The Gilbert Clock Factory.
Gilbert Clock Factory from Long Island.
That's great. Now this battery's getting a little low, so let's move
Okay,
on here to
quickly.
what is the story? Is this an
No, we just
antique?
bought that. We bought that at the Englishtown flea market back in
Okay.
1963 or 4. But this
Right.
is kind of interesting. You might want to see these.
Uh-huh.
These are all, this is very good china. It's old Imari Japanese china. These are just, they're gradated.
Uh-huh.
You can see old Imari china. They are valuable. As you see, they stack. And then there are the chop plates. Grace, can you pick this up, sweetheart? Are you strong enough to pick those all up? They're very heavy. And here are the 2 chop plates.
Oh wow, look at that. And that's from Japan.
Japan, yes.
Gotcha.
And here's this one matches those bowls.
Uh-huh.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna-
so yeah,
I'm not gonna
don't
go
let's
there.
not do anything so it would break them. Very interesting. And who got those?
These were my mother's. She bought them in Japan when she lived there in 1953, and they were old then. They were already old then.
So
Just
maybe
like those
1800s?
statues, those
Maybe
little-
1800s those were made?
I have no idea, but they're Japanese.
They wouldn't have dates on the back, would they?
I
Any
don't think
wild
so.
chance.
No, but
Imari,
if
Japan,
the
yeah.
antique show ever comes to town, you can take those little statues that are in the right
Yeah.
in there. I think they was.
And what?
You might take a look at this. This tarnished piece is silver. It's from B for Babcock. That was Gussie's husband's name.
Really?
Husbands.
And it's a marvelous piece. I don't know if you can see it well, but down here is a reservoir for alcohol. And I
Keeps it
do
hot.
have at least had
Oh, look
some
at that.
really
Wick.
potent alcohol in there, and it will
Like a
obviously
little
be
burner.
lit.
Alcohol burner.
Burner.
Put
Chafing
it on
dish.
there and show how the cradle works.
Hmm?
Show how the cradle works. Put it on there. Show how it tips. You just pour
Oh,
like
and the tips. Oh, I love it. Love it.
That's right.
That's great.
And of course, these is my bottle collection. You see these magic bottles here?
Yeah, Dad, are any of them for any particularly interesting places
Well,
in
my
the desert?
nephew Brush gave me these magic bottles. They had lain under a chemical factory for over 100 years.
Wow.
And these are.
to tell you about this.
Mother's got something there she wants you to see.
This
Okay.
was my nanny's. This is depression glass. They used to go to the movies, and after them on Friday nights they would give away things. You took whatever your ticket, they would draw, and they would give away depression glass. And this was one of. She kept a needle and thread and little scraps of things in here.
Now, we've had
Like-
Christmas cookies in that for my whole entire life,
Yes.
haven't we? Yeah.
Yes, and I just wanted you to know it was Nanny's, that it had been hers, and I love it.
Cool. So, Dad, any other particularly noteworthy bottles up there? Any other
Well, it might
stories?
be noted that Becca bought us this piece of, how would you describe it, abstract stained glass.
Stained glass, yeah.
And we've hung it there ever since, and we love it. I think she also gave us this, didn't she?
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Becca?
Same woman made that.
This green-eyed dragon that
Oh, look at that. That's great.
hovers in the air.
And this table and these chairs were my mother's husband's, Paul Barth's chairs. He raised his family on these chairs.
And the
On this
table, too.
Table and chairs, yes. And so I inherited these in 1983 or 84, and it's been our family table ever since.
For some reason, I thought that table came from June's side, but I'm
No, it came
wrong.
from Paul Barth.
Gotcha. Now, Dad, the chemical factory where those bottles are from, what state were we talking
I
about?
don't know. I just take Brush's word for it.
Somewhere out in
He bought
Nevada
them at a
or
flea market
California.
in Manhattan
The
when they
same
were
flea
living in
market that
Manhattan.
Becca used to go to, the one on Columbus Avenue and 74th Street or 75th Street.
Gotcha.
These chairs are kind of interesting.
Yeah, tell me
It's
about
not that
that
they're
chair.
worth so much, but I taught at Indiana University's art school, the Heron School of Art in Indianapolis, and I was in addition to teaching humanities, I was the director of their plays. So we put on plays, and we needed some chairs, and these were in the attic
Uh-huh.
there at the university, in the museum's attic, the Heron Museum of Art, and they needed to be. It didn't show on stage that the seats were out, and then after we put on the play, they didn't want them back, so I kept them, and so
You liberated them,
I
yes.
liberated them.
Now, Mom, tell me about that commode there. Tell me about the commode.
That was Grandma June's commode.
So tell me what a commode is. I mean, Hunter may not ever. First of all, while you're holding that, let's just to get a close up of Becca's sculpture. That's just a little worse for wear now, but it has survived. And when you turn it, would you turn it 90 degrees, Mom, so I can see it on the side? Yeah.
Exploded in the kiln, and your mother and I pieced one weekend we pieced those pieces together so that it.
Becca was thrilled. She was thrilled because she had loved it.
That's great.
You can feel her hands. you know.
She sculpted that, yeah.
You can feel here her fingers.
And that fine ear.
Of course, the one in the living room gets so many compliments. We still get so many compliments from that.
And while we're talking about it, I'll just zoom in on that bad boy right now. Yep, there it is. Very good. All right, Mom. Since Hunter, all right, wait. Why don't we say? Tell you what. Take two. If ready, set, go for it.
It's like a water closet. It's called a commode. It's commodious. It does a genteel thing. You open it up, and on this side is deep. This side is this deep where you could have a pitcher of water in there. And this side is this shallow because the basin went there. And that means that there was a little drawer here that you could put the soap and towels.
So this is in the days before bathrooms. This was
This is the water closet. And
Gotcha.
under here is where the...
you have a porcelain bowl to do your business in.
Yes, you do your business there, and then the servants would empty it, or
somebody.
in the middle of the night you use this.
So you'd have water to wash up in there. You'd have your little toiletries.
Toiletries, and it's called a commode.
And that's made. And how old do you think this is? This is 1800 something.
Late 1800s.
There's a beautiful wood grain there. Clearly, it's a hard wood. Excellent. Thank you. Hi, Mom. Is there any story behind those spoons?
They're just, most of them June. Some of them are collections that they made. This is called buckle silver. They melted down the buckles. The men used to put buckles on their shoes and on their knees. Right here, they would have stocking to there, and then they would have a blousey pant, and right there was a little, and there would be a buckle on it, and they would melt that down. And
Really?
Withington, yes.
Or coins, silver coins
Or
were
silver
sometimes
coins.
melted down, yes.
But these others are souvenirs from World's Fairs and are different things. And their spoons were there too, and of course, my really good silver is in the bank.
Gotcha. Excellent. Speaking of silver, we might go to the coin collection. It is March 20th.
See the coins, is that it?
I want to see the coins. March 20th, 2006. What do you got there, Dad? Is that the vault?
Watch carefully. The magic vault will open.
And the coins are
The
revealed.
coins come out in no particular order. These, as you see for yourselves, are smaller coins. Some of them gold, as you can tell from the golden color. They go back to 1796, half dime. Donna bought this for me for my 70th birthday.
At great expense.
Yes,
Great expense.
these are $2.50 coins. These are dollar coins of different shapes.
What
These
date
are
for the $2.50?
there's from about 1850 is the first one. Here's a $3 gold piece.
What's the date?
I wish I had my glasses. About 1870. Here's a dime, 1797. And various styles of dime up to the latest one, which is Roosevelt dime. And I'll just describe these as they happen to come out of the box.
Alrighty.
These are more gold coins. These are $5 gold pieces from a turban type to a classical coronet type to an Indian $5 gold piece. About the time that the Indians were being exterminated completely, we started memorializing them in heroic dress. Here is a more recent, like 1920s, Saint Gaudens, a famous designer of coins. And okay, these are quarters, silver quarters, as you can see, dating back to about 1806 in various styles. The progression of these styles is roughly parallel across the denominations. And
Those are big ones.
here's silver dollars coming out. And this is a 1795 silver dollar, flowing hair. The goddess of liberty depicted initially as having flowing hair, a huntress type of creature. She became more matronly and buttoned up and bowed around in the early 1800s. Then the famous seated Liberty style, which shows across the denominations, but these are silver dollars. Trade dollar, Morgan silver dollars.
And that one has a special patina on it, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
No, that one's a very
I'm a great
special
lover of patina. And here is the so-called peace dollar. And then an Eisenhower 40% silver dollar. And then a commemorative Liberty striding silver dollar, which was never put into circulation. It was just a commemorative. Now we're getting into coins of the world. One reason I've branched out into coins of the world is because American coins, particularly the type I like, flowing hair and so forth, beginning with the federal coinage in 1793, are so ferociously expensive. These are just mainly miscellaneous, although here is a Washington copper cent from 1783, and I have him facing George III, a huge British penny. These are various coins of the world. I can't begin to summarize them all, except here's something interesting. It's a New Jersey coin from about the 1780s.
Nova Cesare.
Exactly. Nova Cesare.
New Caesar.
And
New Jersey means New Caesar.
These are commemorative. Talk about patina. Here's a California commemorative coin with a minor panning gold.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
I think it's the sesquicentennial or 75th anniversary of California becoming a state, so it's 1920 of some kind. Here's a Daniel Boone commemorative $50.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? These are Peruvian coins that we accumulated from our trip to Peru several years back. I'm going to spend more time, as you preferred, on the Roman coins, but these are half cents, American half cents. I'm missing the earliest type, which is a very beautiful flowing hair coin, but to get a decent example would cost at least $4,000.
Wow. So even though it says quarters, those are half cents up top on that sheet.
Yeah, it's called quarters because they don't make boards for half cents.
For half cents. And then down here, what is this, baby?
Oh, it just happens to be a stray Morgan quarter.
That's a Morgan quarter.
Yeah. Now, you wanted Roman coins.
Oh, yeah, I love these.
Up here on top, these two are Greek coins. Here's Alexander the Great, really Hellenistic. Here is a marvelous Greek coin, the myth of the boy who was drowning and saved by a dolphin.
Oh, great.
And the dolphin carries him into, the boy is named Terra, and the dolphin carries him into the Gulf of Taranto in Italy. These are coins of the Roman Republic. Before the Caesar strongmen. There were strongmen, but they weren't the Caesars. This is a marvelous Roman Republic of the god Janus, looking both backwards and forwards. And these coins were often nailed to doors or passageways, leaving the old and entering the new. And it was considered like we think of transitional objects, or psychologists speak of them. You might say these are transitional objects leading us and protecting us, guiding us into new stages of our lives. And here we get into Roman coins. All these down here are Roman coins. This happens to be a cast coin of the hideous Emperor Nero. This is Faustina Senior, this marvelous copper-toned green. She was the queen of Antoninus Pius, the emperor right here. And then this is another of Faustina Senior. This is Vespasian, the man who built the Colosseum. And here's a special coin, quite expensive, and I was looking for it for quite a while. Julian, characterized by Christian historians as Julian the Apostate, because he tried to revert from Christianity that had been established by his uncle, Constantine the Great, back to paganism.
Emperor Julian.
His dates are about, three. He only was Augustus for, say, like 2 or 3 years, like 350, 4th century, so 350. Gore Vidal's novel Julian is a marvelous evocation of that period in which there were fights for succession, and Julian was lucky to have survived it all. Here is a string of emperors in small silver coinage. Here is Trajan, the great Spanish Caesar and general who moved in after the chaotic times of, for example, Caligula, Nero. This is Hadrian, I think the adopted son of Trajan. He was also a great emperor. This is Antoninus Pius, so named because he demonstrated such piety towards the Roman gods. And here's the famous philosopher emperor. Julian was also a philosopher emperor, educated in Athens, but now we're back much earlier days. This is Marcus Aurelius and his brother. They ruled together. His brother, the great ladies' man, who was constantly distracted by beautiful women. And here is the son of supposedly Marcus Aurelius and Faustina Faustina Jr., actually probably the son of Faustina Jr. and some gladiator. Marcus Aurelius was off campaigning and writing his famous meditations. Here is, this is another coin with the Trajan's countenance on it. And here is a large Roman coin from Odysseus, who was around 250 and who led the Romans into their most famous defeat by the Goths in about 250. His son fell in battle, and Odysseus made the famous speech, well, the fall of one person cannot make a difference. Then the next day, the one person to go down was he himself, Odysseus, in the famous defeat. The most famous defeat of a Roman army by the barbarians to that point. This is a copper coin, again with Marcus Aurelius's portrait or visage upon it. And this happens to be a very important woman, Julia Domna, the wife and the queen to Septimus Severus, and they gave birth to 2 children, Geta and Caracalla, the infamous Caracalla, who killed his brother Geta. And Julia Domna was so overwhelmed by these terrible tragedies that she refused to eat and died of starvation. What else can we mention here? Septimus Severus was a great Roman general, particularly in North Africa, who beat back various barbarians and was made Augustus by the troops. And who's famous for a number of remarks, one of which was, "I've been everything and it's worth nothing." Okay.
I'm to say we're getting very low on juice here. So if you
Okay,
could show me
well,
those beautiful gold, show me those beautiful gold coins. Thank you for the stories, Dad. The Roman stories.
Stories. stories, Bruce.
I don't know how you keep all that stuff, like your astronomy. I don't know how you do it. So let's see these gold babies while I still have
These
a
are
little
half
bit.
dollars, and again, you go back to the earliest type of the federal coinage. Before that, the states coined. See the flowing hair half dollar. It's worth a couple $1,000s. Then it proceeds up the usual sequence of types. In this case, the denomination is half dollars. There's the bust type. Here's another bust type, but quite different. And very many bust types proceeding up to a 50-cent piece being reduced in the silver content, so it's smaller. Around 1836 or something like that. And then we get to the seated Liberty and up to a Morgan half dollar from, I don't know, it's 1900 or something like that. Then up to the half dollars that were current when I was a boy. The Walkers, the Liberty Walking, which is a beautiful thing. Here's a Benjamin Franklin half dollar. These were put in circulation. And it was time to honor one of the founding fathers who was never president. He was too old for that. Then John Kennedy.
Right.
And suddenly we jumped to $10 gold pieces, the coronet type, classical Greek type, and then again another Indian from about 1909, something like that, but a different type of Indian head. And while we're at it, I'll show you a gold, $20 gold piece. Of course, now there's enough gold in there to be worth hundreds of dollars just the gold, but here, yes.
Yeah.
This is a truly remarkable coin. It was minted in the San Francisco Mint, just what the date is, I don't know, 1912 or something like that. But it's in Spanish, and it was meant to circulate in the Philippines as the Philippines had been annexed by the United States following the Spanish-American War, and it shows the American turn towards becoming an imperial power, which was solidified under, well, Teddy Roosevelt, and then before Roosevelt it was McKinley, who was reported to have wondered whether to annex the Philippines or not after the Spanish had been defeated by us, and he reported to have gone to his knees and prayed to God for guidance, and by George, God directed that we annex the Philippine Islands. Here's Sacagawea, commemorated in the dollar that probably didn't become popular enough, and this is a Susan B. Anthony dollar that never really made it into use.
And those ones down at the bottom, very quickly, what are those?
Oh my goodness, how could I miss those?
Yeah.
That's one of the most valuable pieces, worth, I don't know, worth $3,000 roughly, commercially. I don't value coins dominantly commercially, but this is a flowing hair to end all flowing hairs. I don't know if you can see it, but you see the flowing hairs wildly, like a goddess, a huntress. This is the next version.
What denomination is that? Is that one?
Large cents.
Large cents. Interesting.
There's flowing hair. Now it's called Liberty Cap. Cap on a pole, and it was supposedly from some Amazon kind of legend that I am not really haven't prepared for this performance.
Sure.
Here's the bust type again, showing up in a large cent, various bust types, and then the large cents were discontinued about 1855, something
And
like
we
that.
see Mary Bittenbender's coin.
Yes, this is from her collection, and happens to have a small date on it, and it's a recognized type.
Is that her birth coin?
No, it's too early for her birth coin, but it was somehow in her collection. And these are German coins. Actually, that's a medal and not a coin. But this is the famous crazy King Ludwig II, who was Wagner's patron.
Made the castle, the fairy tale castle.
Exactly,
Gotcha.
exactly so.
Disneyland.
Exactly so. This is a medal commemorating Bismarck, who unified Germany around the 1860s, 70s. And then in front of him, it's a more recent figure. And these again, this is not in a very good condition, but it is a coin from the time of Frederick the Great, or Frederick II, 18th century. And you can see how his hair is done up with what would you call it, a queue and a ribbon, which suggests the way we, which is like the way we sometimes see Hamilton and some of our great figures of that period. And let's see what else there might be.
And as long as you're talking about gold coins, at least add the one about my necklace piece. Mary Bittenbender's. I mean, your parents' wedding coin.
Oh, there's a $5 gold piece that is in the vault, the real vault. That was a wedding present to Gil in June. Somehow it came into my possession. And I turned it into a decorative thing, put it in a loop, and made a necklace. Made a necklace out of it for your mother.
That lovely lady right there.
That lovely lady right there.
That's right, and she sometimes wears it. And this is sort of the end of the collection. And these are Irish coins. And they somehow are suitably Irish. There's a bull, there's a marvelous horse, there's a salmon, there's some kind of bird, I should know. And these happen to be Finnish coins that I was attracted to. There's a Finnish coin with a marvelous owl, again signifying cross-culturally wisdom. And here is a Finnish premier or whatever who successfully negotiated somehow with the Russians and held them off and allowed Finland to have a degree of autonomy. And here the reverse of the Finnish coin shows the Finnish forest, and the reverse of the Finnish coin has a harp, like a bard's harp, a bardic harp. And that pretty well does it.
Well, Dad, thank you so much. You finished just in time for the battery to run out. And thank you so much. We'll visit these coins in more detail on our next session.
I'll be glad to. Thanks for your interest.
Thanks, buddy. And for Alistair Cook and Public Broadcasting, that has been As You See
Alistair
It.
being the only cook around here, except Neil.
And I'm trying to think of something witty, but it's just not coming. So good night and good luck.
And good luck.
It is morning of March 21st, 2006, and for your viewing pleasure, I'm showing you these lovely red plates. But the real reason I'm doing this is I'm switching this around so you can see Daddy in his slippers and long coat. And this is how he woke me up this morning, very nicely, brought me up to get my coffee, and we started the day.
That's right. Whatever multitudes are viewing this film, I want you to know that I'm prepared for this. I have washed my face. I think I remember combing my hair. And I'm just immensely impressed by this opportunity to pose and preen before you. To pose, preen, and prance before you. Oh.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wilshire.
You're very welcome.
Hey, that's a show.
Anytime, son. Anytime, son.
Just to show you I'm not too well made up myself, there's me with my my hair is quite the mess as well. So there you go. But likewise, I share the mess. And there we'll have a final out on the beautiful red stuff and the light coming into it in the morning. Recording.
We're recording.
Hunter, come here. Today is March 21st, 2006. Hunter is 19 months and 3 days. Hunter, you want to blow the trumpet? Again. Yeah. Yes. Here we go. Look. Here you go. Again. That it? You want your oops? Want to try again? One more trumpy? Okay.
Hunter, can you
Well, that's
blow a
all
note for
again.
Mommy? Can you blow a note for Mommy?
One more try. Come on, play trumpy.
You want
Play
to play?
trumpy, ready?
Want to play a note
Ready?
for Mommy?
No, play trumpy. No! Play trumpy. Ready? Well, at least you heard something. Want to play trumpy? All right.
I want to
not
do it my way.
Not happening. Yes!
Yay!
Yes! Yay! Yay!
All
That's
right.
best ever. 19 months and 3 days. Yay! Daddy loves you. Bravo! Yay, Hunter! Yay!